Welcome to Spotlight Sessions, where we shine
What's
a light
your
on
story?
incredible. What does accessibility mean to you?
What's your mission? Welcome all to accessiBe's Spotlight Sessions, where we shine a light on incredible individuals and organizations and the work that they do. I'm your host, Josh Basil. I'm a C4-5 quadriplegic, paralyzed below my shoulders, and a power wheelchair user. I'm the Community Relations Manager at accessiBe and a passionate disability rights advocate and trial attorney, focused on breaking down barriers to access and inclusion for people with disabilities. Today on accessiBe Spotlight Sessions, we are joined by Chelsea Hill, the founder and CEO of Rollettes and Rollettes Experience. Welcome, Chelsea.
Hi, thank you for having me, Josh.
I'm so excited to have you on. I'm a big fan of yours. I've been following you for years, even seeing you perform live. You're amazing. But let's just jump right into your awesomeness and tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Thank you. So I was born and raised in Monterey, California. I grew up as a dancer. I think my parents just put me into dance because, you wanted to get you want to get your kids into dance and get them all their energy out and stuff. And I fell in love with dance at a very young age. So I knew at a very young age what I wanted to do in life. Growing up in a small town, I feel like I had the best small town experience. Everyone knows everyone. And yeah, so now, fast forward, I'm sure we'll jump into it, but I live in Los Angeles, California now, and I'm running a business, and I'm a mom and I'm a wife.
And so much more. I love all the things that you do. And when did your injury take place?
I was injured in 2010. I was a senior in high school.
Senior in high school, and you've been in a manual chair and just going incredible places, always moving forward. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how did you develop the idea of kind of the Rollettes and kind of your awesome wheelchair dance band?
You know, it's interesting because when I was first injured, I I wanted nothing to do with the disability community. I was terrified. I was terrified to look at myself in the mirror because I never saw anything really positive about people with disabilities. Like in media, there was nothing about people with disabilities in media at all. And then, when I became paralyzed, I really wanted to show my community that I can't be the only young person that made a mistake, that got into the car with a drunk driver, that became paralyzed. Like, there's no way that I'm the only person like me in this world. So, my dad has always been like a huge supporter of mine and always has pushed me out of my comfort zone. And, you know, very early on when I was still in the hospital, he walked in with a computer and he was like, "Hey, take a look at this." And I was like, "What are you doing?" And I was in the hospital. I was like down in the rehab, area. And I was watching this girl in a wheelchair dancing. And I was like, like, this is cool. This is interesting. And it was Ati Angel. And fast forward a year later, I actually got to meet her at a Life Rolls On event in person. I was super nervous to meet her. And, that kind of just kickstarted, it ignited that fire within me that, like, anything is possible. When I actually got home from the hospital, my able body dance team, my high school dance team, my dad went around and got like 14 wheelchairs, all from like hospitals and stuff, and brought them to my high school. And that was the day that I did my first wheelchair dance routine. With all of my able-bodied friends that were on our team together. So that really ignited this fire. And then like meeting Ati, I was like, wow, like I can dance again. And so long story short, after being on Push Girls and during that kind of season of my life, I wanted so much more for myself. And I had this vision of a wheelchair dance team. And I had this vision of a ballroom full of women in wheelchairs dancing. And I wanted that. And so when I reached out to girls on social media, I was like, "Hey, do you want to come to my hometown and dance?" And 6 of them said yes, all 6 of them. And that's kind of just how this idea started. It was purely because I wanted friends. I wanted to meet people that were like me. And I really wanted to show my community that I wasn't the only young person that had a disability that wanted the same things. And that's purely how this all started, was just finding friends like me.
Well, the community you've built is a very large one, and you've got so many people that are joining it every day. Like I've mentored so many families over the years through my nonprofit, and whenever I have young girls, I tell them about you and tell them about the Rollettes, and they're just like, no way, they're doing that. And then the next thing I know, they're they have somebody to look up to and follow in their wheel tracks and to like just to have fun and to see other people doing it. And I love that you said that you saw somebody else doing it, like dancing in a wheelchair. You're like, you know what? If she can do it, I can do it too. And
Yeah.
it's like so many of the people, your community, like, so tell us a little bit more kind of about the community. And I know you guys do so many cool events. Jesse, a dear friend of mine, went out to California, I believe, with you guys for a recent event.
Yeah, so the Rollettes Experience, I started this idea of it 11 years ago. So it was 2012. I was 2 years injured. And that was the year that I reached out to girls on social media and I was like, want to come to my hometown and dance with me? Like, I had no idea what I was doing. I had girls that flew in that I literally picked them up at the Monterey airport, which is this tiny little airport. And I was like, come hang out. I don't have any room at my house, but we can get some blow up mattresses and you guys can sleep on my couch and someone can sleep in the bed with me. Like, we literally, it was like girl time. And that year in 2012, I did like a fundraiser in my community and like did this whole Dance for Life event, which was really cool. And that year, I remember we posted videos on social media and we're like, well, what's our team name? What are we going to be called? And we were called Team Hot Wheels back then. Long story short, we weren't able to use that name. Got a little cease and desist, and we could not use that name. Had no idea what we were doing, but we had companies that were like, "Hey, do you want to come and perform at our high school? Hey, do you want to come perform at our, our fair or our parade?" And so we just kind of toured around California and did these like little events. Long story short, we then changed our name to Walk and Roll Dance Team and then changed our name again to Rollettes, which has kind of catapulted in a way that I never really expected. And I'll be honest, it was 2017, and I had been doing the camp for a few years, so 5 years, and I was down in Los Angeles, and I had 32 people coming in. I had like 28 adults, and that was the first year I opened it up to like 4 kids to come and their parents. And I rented Airbnb houses. I said, you show up at the airport and I'll pick you up. I had no idea what I was doing, Josh. Absolutely no idea. And the night before, I got a message from the Airbnb app that said one of the houses was flooded and it was the only accessible house. And I was like, great, I have 10 people staying at the house. What do I like? Full blown panic. And then the van company, which I will not say, they offered like 4 accessible vans. They canceled on me like 2 days before that. And they were like, sorry, you can't use the vans. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have 30 people, 32 people coming in, all wheelchair users. I have no place for 10 of them to sleep. I have no way of transportation. I freaked out. I was like, what am I doing? I'm in over my head. Long story short, I called my manager and I was like, help, I don't know what to do. And he's like, all right, I'll be there. Bria, our COO, she like rallied like vehicles and we literally picked people up. That year was, I think, the year that changed everything for me because my manager, who is, in the dance convention area, he was a professional dancer, like all this thing, producer, and he was like, at the end of that, he was driving girls around, just listening to the conversations and girls saying, like, I've never met someone in a wheelchair. I've never met somebody like me. This is my first time traveling, all these things. And so after we met and he goes, what's your vision? Like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want a ballroom full of women dancing in wheelchairs. Like that's how I grew up. That's all I know. And that's what I want. And he goes, all right. He goes, I see it. He goes, I'll get you a ballroom. You get 100 people there and let's see what happens. And I literally, Josh, I looked at him, I go, first of all, you're crazy. Second of all, I don't know 100 people in wheelchairs, let alone women, let alone that are going to fly to Los Angeles, let alone that want to dance. How is this? I don't know how this is possible. That was in 2017. 1 year later, 2018, we had 115 wheelchair users, all women that came in from 12 different countries. I was blown away, Josh. I got on that stage and I was like, oh my gosh. So the event has turned into a Rollettes experience and it's evolving every year into something different. This year was our 11th year. And we have dance classes. Yes, that's like a given. But really, what is so amazing is we have all of the panels that we get to like hear from incredible women. We have kids classes, we have teen group, we have teen classes, we have a coffee chat for the parents, we have a PJ party, we had a disco after party this year. We transformed the whole ballroom. We have a pool party, a makeup seminar, workout classes, so much, and it's getting a little bit like, holy crap, I can't believe we're doing this. But this was our first year that we actually opened it up on Saturday to all disabilities. And
Wow.
that's really my goal. Is I know women empowerment event is so important, but I think I do want to open it. I'm like dabbling in it. I do want to open up to all disabilities and maybe bring in guys for one day. Like I'm realizing how needed this event is, not only for women. It will be always like women focused, but I really want to open it up to so much more, because I want to use my platform to create change and create, not a sterile kind of event. I want it to be fun and like energetic, and have decor everywhere, and have brands like support our community. So yeah, it's a long tangent, but that's kind of like how it started, what it was, and what it is now.
I love that so much. It's such a great story, and there's no doubt you are a change maker, and you're empowering thousands, if not millions, and which is just thank you for all that you do.
Thank
Um,
you.
and what is it about dance that you love so much?
You know, ever since I was little, I I was never good in school. I was never good at academics. I couldn't sit down and listen. I still can't listen to somebody talk. I literally, my brain goes blank. I can't do it. I've never been good at academics, but the one thing in my life that I feel like I could always make my family proud was in dance. I could go into a competition and win first place every time. It was something that I felt like I was proud of. I felt like I could conquer the world. And for me, like, to be able to say that I made my family proud in something, it meant the world to me, and I was good at it. And I could dance whether I was happy, sad, angry, confused. Like, if I didn't know how to verbally express it, I could express it through movement. And after my accident, I thought that that was stripped from me. I thought that I was never going to be able to express myself. And when I did my first wheelchair dance routine in front of my entire high school with my able bodied dance team, I realized that that fire was still in me, that I could roll onto a dance floor and become a different person. And that just, it gave me my identity back. So to me, dance is, I mean, I have chills. Like, it's the way that I can release so much, whether it's happy, sad, angry. I can leave my life where whatever is going on, and I can have time to myself. It's like a meditation for me. It's a way that I can have a different kind of release. It's amazing. It's changed my life, and it's given me so much.
And what advice would you give to somebody else with a disability that would love to pursue a career in dance?
Honestly, what I would say to someone who has a disability, and that wants to be involved in the dance community is take classes and go to able body classes and figure out how to adapt the choreography on your own. There is no right or wrong way, especially when you're adapting choreography. It's you're translating the movement into what you are interpreting it to be. I would say be a yes person, take as many opportunities as you can, because the more opportunities you take on, the more you're gonna learn. And I would say, like, we live in a virtual day and age now, as I would say, post videos of yourself and just get out there.
Chelsea, you're always on the move. You're always moving forward. What motivates you?
Um, you know, it's a really great question now that I'm a mom. You know, I think what has always motivated me is like to really just prove to everyone how beautiful my life and a life as somebody with a disability can be, that it doesn't have to be horrible. But also, I really love what I do, and so I think finding what I'm passionate about has really helped me keep going. It's given me a purpose.
And you just mentioned being a mom, and I can't say congratulations enough. And what is it? What advice would you give to somebody else with a disability that's going to be a mom? And talk about kind of your role as a mom.
It's being a mom and having to work full time and being an entrepreneur. I mean, I'm sure like for me, I can't speak for everyone, but it really takes a village. It really does. And people see me doing all this stuff, and I couldn't do it without the support that I have. I would say if you want to become a parent in general, I would say make sure you have the right support system around you, because it is very hard. I'm not going to lie. It's probably one of the hardest jobs that I've ever had to take on. But it also is it is the most rewarding job that I've ever had.
And having a team, having people in your life do it with you makes it that much extra special because you get to share all those memories and you
Yeah.
have each other's backs, which
Yeah.
I love that because I have an 18-month-old now and a 6-year-old, and there's zero chance I would be able to do it alone. And
Exactly.
I am
I feel like
100% back in what you're saying.
it's like a routine. When you practice with a routine and with your teammates over and over and over, and then you have that moment of like you get on stage and you perform your heart out. I feel like it's the same thing in life. Like who you have around you and who your core team is, and then when beautiful moments like her first steps when they come, or when she said mama, I was like, it's a win forever. I'm like, she's developing, oh my goodness, like I really just look at it as the same thing as a dance team. Like you need the right team around you in order to move forward, because I don't want to say it's impossible, but it would be really hard to do this on my own. And I feel like I'm capable of it, but it's not as rewarding. But motherhood is beautiful. It's beautiful. It's challenging, but beautiful.
Oh, beautiful. And what is your life's motto?
I mean, I really feel like my life motto is dance is dance, whether you're walking or rolling. That is something that I've always consistently reminded myself of. And I feel like that also isn't just about dance. That's just life in general. Life is life, whether you're walking or rolling. Like motherhood is motherhood. Well, if you're walking or rolling, it doesn't matter. Like I feel like disability doesn't discriminate when it comes to like what we want to do. You have to find the willpower within you to push through things. Like we all have it in us. We can't rely on other people to motivate us to do things. We are the people that have to wake up every day and get up and get ready. Like no one else is doing it. Like we're not going to, I don't know. I just feel like you have to find it within yourself in order to create the world that you want, the life that you want, and everything will fall into place, if that makes sense. Like yeah, dance is dance, whether you're walking or rolling. Life is
I
life.
love it. I love it. Now there's so much power in our choices and what we do next.
Yeah.
And what are some misconceptions about disability that you'd like to debunk?
Ooh, that's a really great. Honestly, I feel like the number one thing that I would like to debunk is disability is less than. I feel like I know so many incredible people in the disability community that have amazing, beautiful, successful, passionate, like driven lives, and disability, I mean, it doesn't mean that we're less than. And our society thinks and views us as, oh, well, look at all the things they cannot do. But they don't realize there's so many things that we can do. I mean, you've run multiple businesses. You're a father, like for me, like I run my business, I'm a mother. Like there's so many things that we can do. And I think because of the way that disability has been looked at for so many years as we are less than, and that we are a charity, and that we need help, there are a lot of people that need help. And yes, we do need help, but that doesn't mean that we're less than. There are plenty of people that are fully quote unquote capable that also need help. Our biggest thing, and our biggest thing that we've had to overcome, is visible. And there's so many things that people that are quote unquote able bodies, that they have so many challenges that may not be visible. So yeah, I think the biggest thing that I would want to debunk is that people with disabilities cannot live a full life, because we can.
And we do.
And we do.
Um, and Lastly, I wanted to ask you this. What does accessibility mean to you?
I've actually never been asked that. I feel like accessibility is inclusion. I feel like accessibility is something that we deserve, and it shouldn't be something that is how do I say, like, it shouldn't be something that's looked at as secondary. It should be something, it's a human right to me. um and I feel like when companies and people don't see that, they're not seeing our human right, they're not seeing our potential as people, and I deserve every opportunity that the person standing next to me does, with or without a disability. So I feel like the drive and the push that's going on right now with like the world and social media, I feel like people with disabilities, we need to keep pushing and keep bringing to light the things that need to be changed. I have a whole list of things I could go on about of what needs to be changed. I mean, but it starts with us actually talking about it and creating the conversation, because if the conversation isn't there, then nobody knows what needs to be changed. So accessibility to me is a lot of different things. It's our right. We deserve it.
And we are having the right conversations, and I feel like I could talk with you forever. I love what you're
Same.
doing, what you say, what you think, what you believe in, and you're a difference maker. So thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. I
and
do have to
and
say
thank
though,
you for being our guest today on
thank you.
accessiBe's Spotlight Sessions, Chelsea.
Thanks. And I do have to say, there were people in the dance industry and the dance community that did things before me that inspired me. And, there's like people like Judy Human, there's people like Ali Stroker, Auti Angel, that there's people out there that are pivotal pioneers in our community that have made huge changes. And it's they inspired me, and I hope to inspire the next generation just like you. Like, you've inspired so many people and paved the way for so many people. It's not our job, but it's our passion. It's not something that I feel like everyone is capable of doing, but I feel like it starts with one person, but one person can't do it all. Like I can have a room full of people, to come to, but if people don't show up, then no change has been made, so it Rollettes Experience isn't what it is unless the people are there. So thank you for what you do and everything that you have accomplished and the path that you have paved for us. So I just want to thank you and applaud you as well.
Thank you, Chelsea. And yes, together we are stronger.
Yes,
And
that is very true.
And to all of our viewers, thank you so much for staying to the end of accessiBe Spotlight Sessions. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow us at accessiBe_community. And until next time, everyone have a beautiful day and a beautiful time. See you soon. Bye, Chelsea.
Bye.